these people putting blood, sweat, and tears for this place and, just want a little piece of the pie. No, I don't think that's too much to ask.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
We've got a great interview lined up for you now. Really excited about this. We have Brian Garcia, a cook at Hilton Americas. He's also a member of Unite Here Local 23 and on strike now in Houston, Texas. Brian Garcia, welcome to the Valley Labor Report. Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Really excited to be talking to you. And, before we get into the strike, when we have union members on who are from the South, who are living in the South, we like to talk to them about what it's like being a union member in the South. How did you come to be a member of Unite Here Local 23? And, why are you committed enough to strike with your sisters and brothers on the job?
Yeah, so, living in a right-to-work state, these big companies, they do tend to underestimate us. And as for why I became a member, it's just I've had a lot of non-union job experience that really wasn't the best. No insurance, crazy scheduling, wild workloads, and I saw what the union could really do for their people. When you really stand together, and there's really strength in unity if you really stand out there and fight for what you deserve.
Absolutely. Were your parents members of unions, or are you kind of the first person in your family to come into this? Sorry to cut you off.
I'm first generation, so my parents are both from Mexico. So really, they really weren't. But being first generation, as son of immigrants, I think it's something that's really important for me.
Absolutely. Well, really happy to have you here, and really glad that you're committed to Unite Here Local 23. Can you explain to the listeners what the strike is over? What were the last offers from management that workers rejected? What are y'all asking for? Give us the kind of nuts and bolts of what's going on.
Yeah, so we're just fighting for better wages, more manageable workloads. After COVID, I don't think really things ever bounce back to what they were pre-COVID. So a lot of these positions are understaffed, and they offered us it's $3.50 over the next 5 years. So by 2030, we'd be, I think just short of $20 an hour. So it's really, things aren't going to start getting cheaper. Obviously, it's going to get more expensive. So I think it needs to reflect that our pay rate needs to go up just the way that inflation is going up in these next 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And in some of the press releases that Unite Here has put out about the strike, they've talked about how Hilton has been, really making a good bit of money. Houston broke records last year for number of visitors, air passengers, and hotel revenue. Overall, hotel revenue increased 15.5% to $3 billion in 2024. Increasing revenue by 15%. Did management give you a 15% raise commensurate with y'all increasing their revenue by so much?
Yeah, definitely not. It's not a small number either. It's a lot of money.
Absolutely. Not a small number. You're $3 billion just for Houston area hotels, and that's a 15% increase year over year. That's an incredible amount of money that y'all were the ones that generated for the company, right? Presumably the executives weren't there, like cleaning the rooms and checking people in and stuff like that, right? So, when I was in Houston last year, I certainly didn't see them.
Yeah, the money's definitely being made on the backs of all these hardworking people that try to make sure that the tourism industry has like the best days possible, and that they enjoy the city, and these people putting blood, sweat, and tears for this place, and just want a little piece of the pie. No, I don't think that's too much to ask.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
It's not too much to ask, I don't think. What the press release talked about, that y'all are calling for at least $23 an hour in a new union contract, and you're also you talked about fair schedules, workloads, and respect on the job and stuff like that. And so I don't know if you're on the bargaining committee or not, but when when the bargaining committee goes to Hilton and they're like, we want to make $23 an hour, a totally normal wage. I think, there are lots of people that make $23 an hour. And Hilton is right now, their posture is, no, we don't want to give you $23 an hour. What are they saying? Like, how are they justifying not giving you that wage?
So honestly, we haven't really heard a lot from them on that side of things. They walked out on us on the last two bargaining, so it was kind of like, a little bit disrespectful in a room full of employees that put in this hard work for you to stand up from the table and walk out of there. It's a little disrespectful. Yeah, and they're just, I feel like it's almost like they're trying to make it seem like everything's okay and nothing's wrong. But I mean, I feel like we all know that's not the case.
You've been on strike now for approximately 2 weeks. I think we just passed 2 weeks, like a day or two ago. How has management responded to the strike? I mean, are they, do they have scabs working in the hotel right now? Like what are they doing in response to the strike?
So it's actually 6 days that we've been on strike. Okay. It's the 6th day today. Yeah. So I mean, they were outside giving out snow cones to the people who stayed and scabbed, and tacos, and feeding them. And, it's almost like trying to put a Band-Aid over a 3-inch wound. It's like really like you're trying to pretend like everything's fine when it's really not.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, and I was misreading the press release there. I saw something about 9 days, and that was released on September 1st. But it looks like y'all are going to maintain picket lines for 9 days, and you're going to end the strike on September 10th. So this is not an open-ended strike. Y'all are striking for 9 days, and then you're going to come back and hopefully be able to bargain in good faith. Get the company to bargain in good faith after they saw how this strike is going to affect their bottom line. What about the community? How are folks in Houston reacting to the strike?
Yeah, so we've gotten a lot of support from city and state officials, allies, and other unions as well. The support has really been great, outstanding, for real.
Fantastic. Well, and what about the experience on the picket lines? How has that been for you as somebody who works at Hilton?
Yeah, so a lot of the people that are out on the picket line, it's a big hotel. We have a lot of employees. There's a lot of people who I've never even, really talked to. And, I feel like there's definitely a sense of like a big bond that's forming with the people who are standing out there and fighting together. And there's really some power in that for sure.
Absolutely. Well, brother, is there anything else that folks in our audience ought to know about the strike before we let you go?
No, just... you can come out, support in any way you can. It really matters, not only for our hotel, but for the city of Houston and Texas as a whole. It's time for a change.
All right. Brian Garcia, a worker at Hilton in Houston, a cook, and a member of Unite Here Local 23. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sending our solidarity down to Houston, wishing them a lot of luck, getting a great contract that they deserve after bringing in all that revenue. So, yeah, shout out Unite Here, Local 23.
Yeah, absolutely. Really appreciate their support of the program, Unite Here. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.
Which side are you on?